Hey everyone, I'm Jay,
I'm Colin.
and this is Star Wars Conversations.
Yes.
How you doing, Colin?
Wonderful, Jay.
You sound a bit husky.
Yeah, man. I sound a lot better today than I have earlier on this week. I was a bit of a wreck earlier trying to. But good news. It's Thursday night. I've got tomorrow off.
Awesome.
So go.
I'm working from home tomorrow.
Are you?
Hmm.
Well, you'll be very busy working hard then.
I really will. That's what I do.
Yeah, you do work hard. I'm going to MCM Comic Con in London, Excel
and
tomorrow.
what are you going as?
I'm going as Cardboard Wolverine.
Awesome.
So I'm a bit worried with my snottiness because snot and a cardboard mask doesn't go down particularly well together.
And now that it's getting into the later part of the year, we've got to hope that it doesn't rain.
Well, this is the thing. So I know I will be taking it in a bag and not wearing it until I get in that convention. So yeah, that's cool. No problem though. And then I'm back there again on the Sunday. So I'm guessing that this episode won't be out in time for tomorrow, but will be out in time for Sunday. So if you're listening, I'm going to be there, mofos. Come and join me.
That's it. So if people see Colin, the Cardboard Wolverine, you can go up to him and get an autograph because
Yeah.
because that's what he does, and he's getting quite famous now at all the conventions. That's
I'm the
true.
best there is.
You are getting quite famous at the conventions nowadays, aren't you?
No, I wouldn't say that, but
Infamous.
yeah, I get noticed. Maybe
Cool.
not for the right reason. Oh my. So let's talk about Star Wars, me old chum.
Okay. Well, we're going to keep this episode quite short today, so
Yeah.
only a quick little thing that happened around the room. There's been a few things, but nothing hugely major. But the one that was quite interesting was there was a little behind the scenes reel that was released for The Last Jedi.
Yeah, Vanity Fair, wasn't it?
Yeah, did you get to have a look at that, Colin?
I did. Yes, I did watch it.
I think it was actually USA Today, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah, it was USA Today.
Some Yankee thing. Yeah, that was Yankee, not another word. And yeah, it was well good, wasn't it? It wasn't that long. It was about 2 minutes, wasn't it?
It's about 2 minutes long, but it was quite cool to get a look at. You saw Ryan Johnson, of course, and he had that whole moment stepping onto the Millennium Falcon for the first time, and it's really good to see. You can really tell like the love from him as a fan. You can really see how special it was for him, and he was kind of making the comment, which was as a kid, I used to play with a Millennium Falcon and all this stuff, and now I'm there. That was cool. It's good to have a look at some of you got to see the characters, their costumes, and that close up because it was kind of a bit more candid. Got to see Carrie Fisher, of course. That was nice, and it's always sad now when you see her. Isn't
It is.
So yeah, and also getting to see the sets, getting to see some bits where the sets are being built, and he kind of mentioned how it kind of blows your mind away because you see them being built and then you walk onto them, and obviously they look completely different and they're all done. That was good. It was for me. I quite liked seeing that Rey appears to be using a Force FX lightsaber.
Yeah.
And also there's a little bit where he told Chewie to whine like a dog.
That was cool, that bit. That was cool.
Yeah. So I mean, were there any standout bits for you? Any favourite parts of it?
I'm trying to remember it, to be honest, Jay. There was lots of bits in the temple, wasn't there?
Yeah, you did see a few bits. You mean where Luke was?
Yeah. You see a lot of Luke. Luke, he looked pretty cool.
Well, we didn't get to see much of him in the last movie, so they're trying to make the most of it and show as much as they can.
He didn't look evil to me. He looked normal.
No, the scenes that we saw there. I mean, obviously you had the bit where Ryan Johnson went, "Welcome to Star Wars Episode 8." So
that was right at the beginning, wasn't it?
Yeah, and we saw a lot of Achto. So unless Luke just stays there, oh, thank you. Unless Luke just stays on Achto, Is
Bless
it
you.
Ash 2 or Ash 2?
It's a tissue.
A tissue, okay. Unless he stays there for the whole movie, which I kind of hope he doesn't.
You say a tissue, I say a tissue. I don't know. It's a weird old name.
Yeah.
They should call it Creepy Island.
We got a little look at what appeared to be a cave as well. There was a cave scene.
Is that where the books are kept, though? You know,
I
like
think
the Jedi book.
it looked like where we've seen in the trailer that appears to be. It looked like that on the inside. Although I thought that was in a tree. I'm not sure. And then also we got to see Ryan Johnson walking into the Red Throne Room set as well.
What? Yeah, I think the tree is in the cave.
Right, okay, possibly.
Because it's hidden, it's a forest tree hidden in the cave.
Yeah. So, yeah, that could be where that was. And also we saw the bit with Rey coming out of the water, which appears to be in that cave as well.
Is that the bit where you think she's got a red lightsaber?
It's not me that thinks that. I saw, I think it was on Jedi Council or something they talked about it, and they said, don't you see that red glow? And I was like, oh yeah, maybe.
I watched it about 3 times after you said that. I couldn't see it myself. And also, I didn't think her hair looked that different. You know, you were saying that her hair looked different.
No, all it was when you see her from the front, it's all slicked back. Like, obviously, she's just come out of water, yeah? And then when you see the clip from behind, it's tied and hanging down more.
It's still wet, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's still wet, but this is just, obviously, when all these things come out, people break them down and look for little
People are
things.
overthinking it, aren't they?
So are we.
I'm not overthinking it.
Yeah, I think you are.
I'm just seeing what I say. No,
saying what you see. Yeah.
I'm like Roy Walker.
A lot of people might not know who that is.
Well, they're unlucky then, aren't they? Not knowing the wonderfulness of Roy Walker, uncle to Anakin Skywalker.
So that was pretty good. I enjoyed watching the behind the scenes footage. It's a nice little thing, and obviously as they're getting closer to the movie, you're getting a few more of these things come out. Do you think that we'll get another trailer before the movie comes out?
Everyone seems to think that, don't they? That's the rumor. I don't think they need one.
I don't think they need one, but I have a feeling that they might actually release another one. Maybe.
I don't see the point.
Nah, it'll just be. We're less than 2 months away now.
At the end of the day, we've got the pre-booking already.
Mm-hmm.
We know the film's there.
Mm-hmm.
I just think we're just going to get loads of TV spots. I can't see any more trailers.
Yeah, we will definitely get TV spots. I mean, I'm happier to not get a trailer. With what I know and have seen, I still don't know anything, and I'm happy to go in.
I don't know if you're about to talk about this around the rim. We didn't do the round bit, by the way. Around the rim! But I've been massively trying to avoid that news story about whatever was on the Japanese thing. Do you know what I'm talking about? Apparently there was something on the Japanese subtitles of the trailer.
Oh, yeah,
and it's a spoiler. So I've desperately tried not to look at it. So don't tell me where it is.
No, I haven't looked at it either. I'm doing the same.
I don't want to know anymore.
I don't need to know those things. I'm quite happy to have some clips that, as we said before, they're being quite clever in the way they cut it together so that it doesn't really give anything away, and to have that little speculation and all those kinds of things, and anything they release officially, like posters or books or any of that stuff, well, you can't really consider that spoilers because they've actually put that out there for you. The Japanese thing, what often happens is the translation.
Yeah, that's what it was, wasn't it?
Ends up giving stuff away. So that's an accidental thing because it's happened before with a lot of other movies too.
But they were, to be honest, there was the same discussion when the title, The Last Jedi, came out because
that's right.
Because with the different translations, whether it's plural or not.
Yeah.
I'm quite happy to say that Star Wars Conversations is a TLJ free zone from now till Christmas, to be honest. I'm quite happy just talking about Rebels and Han Solo and the lovely comics and the books.
Well,
enough to talk about, to be fair.
If it's a TLJ free zone, we might end up with not very much to say. And there might be some interesting stuff that comes out, But
I honestly don't think there is going to be much more to... I mean, what else can they tell us without ruining the film?
This can be a question for the group.
Yeah, what do you want to hear? Do you want to hear any more TLJ stuff, or do you just want to be avoiding it like we do? Please.
Right. So anyway, that are you done with that then? Have you said what you want to say?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So that's that for Around the Rim.
No, I want to talk about Battlefront.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go talk about Battlefront. It's not done for about the rim. Around
No,
the
it's
Rim.
not. So, EA Star Wars Twitter and Instagram account have been releasing these brilliant little 30-second things, because I think there's a big convention going on in France this weekend, gaming convention, and they've been talking about how it's all going to focus on hero play, hero battles.
Oh, okay.
And there's going to be loads of, apparently there's going to be a big sort of information about that. And last week when we recorded, they'd just released some gameplay for the first 10 minutes of the story mode, so that was a showcase for them. Apparently this weekend's going to be showcasing heroes.
Oh, okay.
And along that lines, these 30-second clips have been hero gameplay. And it's been, I think there's been Emperor, there's been Darth Vader, Bosk, Luke, Leia. I'm sure there's more. I probably missed half of them.
I'm most interested to see Bosk out of those.
Yeah, this is wicked.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
and so basically what it does is it just shows them from, like from behind them running,
Yeah.
and it goes to it cuts to different battlefields. So there's Yavin, there's the Death Star 2 inside it, Camino. It's wicked.
These are in multiplayer, right? They're not in.
Yeah, this is the multiplayer, but I'm sure there's going to be on the Battlefront 1. There's heroes offline as well where you can play that against. So I'm certain there'll be like an arcade hero versus hero game. I'm sure you'll be able to do that.
Cool.
And basically it just says who the character is, and then it just tells you what their special force abilities are as they're doing it.
Ah, okay.
It's wicked.
What's Bosks?
Oh, I can't remember. Dude, I don't know the detail, man. Watch them. All I'm saying is you lot should watch them because they're well good. And they've got me excited.
I'll go and
The
look out
Emperor's got this wicked thing, right, where he electrocutes everybody around in front of him. And then he's got, I can't remember what they called it. It's like this aura, and the view is from above him, and all around him is this circle of like blurriness, and all the people he's just electrocuted will go, "Woo!" It's cool.
You guys need to have seen Colin's face there. Oh, right, okay. Well, I'll check those out. I guess that you can probably find them on YouTube or whatever as well, right?
I don't know. It's not on the YouTube.
Talk about details.
Well, look, I can tell you it's not on EA Star Wars YouTube account, because that's the first place I looked.
Okay.
Because I tell you what tipped me off to this is, again, that brilliant YouTube channel, Star Wars HQ.
Yeah.
And they were doing an update, and they were playing some of them while they were talking.
Oh, okay.
And I thought, oh, I'm going to look for these. And then I realised they weren't on YouTube, but I looked on Instagram and they were on there.
Right, okay.
EA Star Wars.
EA Star Wars. I'll go have a look. Excellent. So, is that the end of Around the Rim?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, Rebels Review.
Rebel Review!
For a guy with a cough, you did that very well. So we had another 2 episodes called In the Name of the Rebellion, parts 1 and 2.
Yeah! I'm trying to remember what happened.
So in this one we got...
Saul Gerrera!
Forrest Whitaker came and did the voice of Saul Gerrera. You got to meet Mothma again. We got to see an Imperial called Brom Titus.
Bronchitis?
That's the guy. And there was a...
I got bronchitis, it feels like.
It sounds like it. And there was a giant kyber crystal that the Imperials were using.
And we got to see
2 tubes.
Hunky, sexy lamb chop man. What's his name?
Oh, oh God, I've forgotten now.
What is his name?
Now that you've thrown it out there at me, I can't remember.
Anyway, he was looking super sexy. He was looking like Wolverine.
Yeah, he's growing that a little bit, isn't he?
Yeah, sexy hair.
Callus.
That's it, sexy Callus. He was looking raw. I tell you, I was So I tell you what, I went through a journey of emotions watching these episodes, Jay.
Okay.
At first, I was
Which
like,
emotions?
well, look, let me describe the journey for you.
Okay, I'd like to hear this.
My journey to Scarif is what I like to call it. At first, I was like, oh, I love Yavin. And I love seeing Yavin. And, oh, this is very Star Warsy. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. I love being on Yavin. Oh, we get to see more of Yavin. That's what I kept thinking.
Okay.
And then, almost very quickly, it turned to, oh, Ezra and Kanan are on Yavin. This is a bit too near the mark. Why are these turd burgers on on Yavin?
Yeah.
So then I started getting a bit
very
pain.
neat as well, wasn't it? It's very tidy.
Yeah. To be honest, and then again, I was getting confused. I was thinking, well, how close to Battle of Scarif are we now? I mean, we cannot be that far. And the fact that these turds are still around and they're on Yavin, and that Mon Mothma knows them, and that Bail Organa knows them, and Dong Dongabonga, what his name is, knows it. What's his name?
Don Donna. So
that's it.
Jedi
what did I call him?
Special. But it makes Jedi unspecial.
Well, it was just like, surely, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen to these two. But
hopefully they both get blown to pieces.
I've got a real good theory, actually. I'm going to tell you in a minute.
No disintegrations.
I'll tell you my wicked theory in a minit.
Okay.
But
is it a fist of theory?
It is a fist of theory.
Okay.
For you French listeners. What I was thinking was, these fellas should not be so well known. Because surely, unless these guys get killed or something really bad happens to them, why the hell wouldn't they be trying to get these guys more involved in the rest of the stories?
Right. Exactly, especially as they're the best Jedi in the history ever.
Obviously, yeah.
Right.
Kanan is rubbish. Not Kanan. Yeah, he is rubbish.
Yeah.
But Ezra is even worse.
Yeah.
He's the best and he's the worst at the same time.
Yeah.
When they were rescuing the people, he was rubbish. It was really struggling. Why didn't he just force knock down all the stormtroopers? And they were messing around with Chopper trying to trick them to come out. I mean, I know I've jumped ahead a bit here, but it's like, why? Why are you doing that? You've got the Force. Knock them out, trick them, slash their heads off with your lightsaber. Don't bloody fanny around like you are now.
But also, what annoys me with what they do in Rebels is, look, I know stormtroopers in the movies generally miss, because they're firing at our heroes. But the Imperials in this are so crap, right? That it feels like the Rebels are the most powerful force in the whole thing, and the Imperials are this little band of guys dressed in armour that are useless and can't do anything. Even the Death Troopers that turned up were absolute crap.
My God,
we've seen what they're meant to be like.
I watched Rogue One on Sunday.
Great movie.
Dark. Really brought home how tough
the sacrifice of the rebellion.
Yeah, and how downtrodden and how vicious the Imperials were, the Death Troopers and that. First of all, you can't understand what they say because they're talking code.
In this, it's like some little girl voice boy. He's like,
I was like, who is this?
Sir.
Yeah, I thought C-3PO was dressed up as a bloody Annie Daniels.
You notice at the beginning, their voice had a sound to it, for a second.
Yeah,
and then it changed into normal voices.
Well, I don't know if they were trying to imply that we're just hearing a translation.
They might have been, but still.
But it was just. But all the others could understand him. You know what I mean? He was telling stormtroopers what to do. So, anyway, what I'm trying to say is, I watched Rogue One. We know how hard pressed, how desperate, how not nice even the rebels were being at that period.
Yeah, definitely.
They were cutthroat. They were a little
friends. Yeah,
and it did demonstrate how weak they are. Mon Mothma is not a good leader. Another fist of theory about Mon Mothma. I'll tell you that in a minute.
Okay.
So again, my journey here on Yavin was one of the first of, oh, it's really cool they're on Yavin. And then I thought, no, they're going to ruin Yavin.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I mean, it wasn't too bad. I didn't think the bit on Yavin. To be fair, I don't know what happened between them being on Yavin and them getting on that spaceship. I don't know. I just can't remember what happened. So it can't be that good. I know Saul Guerrero's head came out of that robot. I don't know how we got from there to Ezra and Thingy Bob being on the ship with Saul Guerrero. How did that happen? Fill me in, Jay.
He wanted to go on a mission. And Mon Mothma was like, no, we're not going to take part in it.
Yeah.
And Ezra and Sabine did want to take part in it. So
that was the other disappointment of the episode. Sabine's still around.
Yeah. And also, I hope that we're going to see Saul Guerrero's feet get blown off.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Like, this dude, maybe this is the episode where we find out why he's got 2 robot feet. Nope. No.
Because
that means he's got to come back for another episode because his feet get blown. Yeah.
But Rogue One can't be that far away, and he's already like much more battered than that, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not even that he didn't have robot feet; it's the fact that he was jumping around like a Jedi.
Yeah, like, so he's not there yet. So it's still got to be quite a distance away. But then at the same time, no, it can't be. But it must be, right? Unless that happens to him, and the next day it's Rogue One, and at the same time, like I'm hoping, like I kind of want to see these guys start getting picked off now.
Yeah,
right.
I would love it.
I don't want to go a whole
every
season.
week one of them dies. Yeah,
that'd be amazing. Because I don't know. I'm just finding it a little bit like it's too. There's so much convenience that happens. Like the bit that annoyed me is at the end. You know when the Kyber crystal exploded.
Yeah.
Right. And so you had the ship that the Kyber crystal was on. You had the big Star Destroyer there.
Yeah.
And then she goes, "I'm putting the Star Destroyer between us and the explosion."
Yeah.
Right? Now, firstly, that explosion ripped through that Star Destroyer like it was paper. Right?
Yeah.
And then there's this massive blast of it going out everywhere. And it just bumps the shuttle. If there was material on that shuttle, it would have exploded.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, come on, man. Like, what the hell? I like Hera. And it was cool seeing her flying a Y-wing.
I like
all that. So I'm happy Hera will be around. I quite like Zeb, to be honest. So I wouldn't mind if he was still out there somewhere in the rebellion. That'd be cool. But then when the end came and Saw Gerrera was like, and this was the closest thing to Rogue One, was where they had those prisoners, and Ezra was like, "No, we've got to save them." And he's like, "It's war."
Yeah.
Right. And I really wanted them to leave them behind. Right. And it was so. And as soon as he set the timer on the thing to explode, and like then he went, and I just went out loud. I went, and they'll have enough time to go and get the prisoners, put them on a ship, escape, and then it will blow up.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Which is exactly what happened, which is stupid.
I mean,
and then all those guys come off, and they're like, "Oh, we want to be part of the rebellion." It's like, yeah, okay, great, whatever.
But this is ultimately the problem, Jay. I don't have a problem with kids' cartoons. I don't have a problem with Rebels being a kids' cartoon. What doesn't work is this particular period of the Star Wars mythos doesn't fit in a kids' cartoon. This is when it's down and dirty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is when people get shot, people get hurt, people are desperate. It's not a kids' environment, and that's why Rogue One was so good.
Well, taking Rogue One out of it, George Lucas always said that the Star Wars movies are made for 12-year-olds. That's what he says, right? So, yeah, it is for kids. But even if you take Empire Strikes Back, it's the darkest one of the original trilogy. Yeah. And he was still like, look, it's still for kids, but it's a bit darker. You can still get away with it. But
Rebels isn't aimed at 12-year-olds, is it? Rebels is aimed at 5 to 10, I would say.
That's the problem. I'm like, don't make it stupid. Like, it can be for kids, but it doesn't need to be stupid. Like, make it Star Wars. Like, these things have to happen.
Well, it's a bit like what you were saying about the violence, and that I get they can't show violence on a kids' cartoon.
But you can show it off camera.
Yeah, there's ways of getting around it.
Yeah,
and just making people look crap and there being no consequence. And like we all know, Ezra would have chopped our bloody heads off.
Yeah,
I mean,
but also, that's a good point. No consequence. It's not actually teaching anything. If you make it a kids' cartoon, there are consequences to actions, and so they should be in there. And with this season, I think they kind of said, "Oh, this one's going to be a bit darker. It's a bit more of a grown-up season," and I think it's airing at a later time as well. So,
But it's not designed. It might air later, but it runs every hour on the hour in America, doesn't it?
And the problem is, if you want to do a kids' cartoon, if you're saying it's aimed at a younger audience, then don't make a story that's got to end the way this one's got to end.
I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? I can't see this being a happy ending, and if it is a happy ending, it's a load of old bollocks.
Yeah, because if they all get off and go off somewhere.
So now's a good time for me to tell you my theory.
Okay, I want to hear both of those theories.
Mr. Theory! I think Kanan and Ezra are going to be sent off after Thrawn to the chisp out of him. That is how I think it's going to end. They are going to be sent on a mission. They're going to be sent on a mission because we know Thrawn disappears and we know they disappear.
Well, we don't know that.
No, we don't. But let's assume. Right? Look, I know they disappear. Kathy knows, and Pablo knows. Pablo hell knows. Can you hear the TARDIS?
Yes.
Yeah. That's my bin. I don't know why it suddenly made a noise because I didn't touch it. But that's weird. Anyway, so my thinking is at the end of this storyline, Thrawn is going to go off to Chisworld, and those guys, and because there's going to be, and this is even worse. You're going to hate this even more.
I already hate it
because not only are they going to go off to Chisworld, but that's what the new Star Wars cartoon is going to be. It's going to be the next cartoon is going to be them in the outer regions going concurrently with the original saga.
That would be the lamest thing in the universe.
I think
I would hate that so much.
We don't need to watch it, do you?
I kind of have to, wouldn't I?
No, you wouldn't. We would ban it.
Talk about it.
We would ban it from our show.
Because that would suck. Because Thrawn's
well, it might be good because Thrawn might be in it, and it might be done differently.
Yeah, it'll end up that these dickheads end up killing Thrawn in the end. You know, and I want him to not get killed by them. I'd like him to come back. Something else. Because
we all know Ezra's going to end up becoming Snoke anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Ha. He's not, but anyway.
He is.
And Mon Mothma fist of theory.
Well, it's not really a fist of theory. Well, it sort of is a fist of theory. I was listening. I've got a review. I finished Sound Point of View.
Okay, that can come after this.
Yeah, but one of the stories, and before I got to this story, it already occurred to me, since we're hearing everyone's point of view, where the hell was Mon Mothma in the Battle of Yavin?
Oh, yeah.
So
she's busy. Yeah.
Well, in Sound Point of View, they tell you why.
Okay.
But my thing is, oh my god, my brain's just gone. What was it?
Brain fart.
It was a brain fart.
I think Colin's just lying.
Fill for me, Jay, quickly. Carry on, tell me what you think of the Rebels, and I'll remember what it
Rebels, well, look.
Was there anything you liked in it?
Yeah, there was stuff I liked. The stuff I liked was, as I said, getting to see Hera in the Y-Wing, getting to see Saw Gerrera, and the way that there was an element of him that did sort of tie in with Rebels in that way, in his personality, in the way that he was willing to leave those guys and just do what needed to be done for the bigger picture, which is what he always, has come across as that way. So I liked that. I liked, I liked seeing like the Death Troopers in there and all that kind of stuff. But overall, it was a letdown again. I find myself watching it and forcing myself to watch it. And B, watching it and going, that's stupid, that sucks, the whole way through it. And it just makes me sound like I hate everything, and I don't. But they never give me what I'm looking for. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I think you're looking in the wrong place, my friend.
Yeah, totally. I totally am. But I just want to see the story move along. I want to see it moving along towards where we know it goes. And I just don't feel like it is. Like, that episode could have happened whenever.
I think, shall I tell you what I think the real shame is here, is in the new era of everything being canon, you get one chance in one type of media to tell a story, don't you?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you can't go back and retell it in the comics. You can't go back and tell it on a Netflix channel.
Yeah.
And so they are telling a story.
And if they do it crap, we're stuck with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Rebels. Now, I guess the only other thing you could do is, like, again, in this book, a certain point of view, tell it from a different point of view.
Yeah.
And you know, that's how they get around it. But to me, it's just a real shame that this is the way we're going to find out what happened before a Battle of Scarif.
And this is meant to be the formation of the rebellion and all that, and I don't particularly like it.
I mean, that would be the one thing I didn't really like about Rogue One, was that they made it sound like they were a bit pathetic, and in this, they really were pathetic, weren't they? They were.
Yeah. But in Rogue One, I did like that there was a bit like when you saw Cassian Andor at the beginning and he shoots that dude. So, as you say, I did like that they were a bit cutthroat, and where they're given the order and the other guy's like, "Nah, just kill him." I like that, because I don't think that the rebels. Look, we have Luke. You know, he's a pure good guy. You know, we got Leia. Those guys, they're like our real heroes,
Yeah.
But I like that the rebellion, because the rebellion are people who are ex-Imperials. They're people from different cultures and planets, and they're a whole mishmash of everyone. And what's that? Is that your bin again?
Yeah.
And I like that there's that side to them where it's like, look, we're not like these squeaky clean good guys. That makes them more relatable and more realistic.
Yeah.
And like when Jyn Erso put her group together, they were all killers and bounty hunters and stuff like that. They were mercenaries. They weren't. These aren't decent.
These aren't officers, are they? They're not.
But they're not like these nice guys. They're soldiers. They're guys that are fighting, and they've got a certain belief and what they want from the galaxy, and that's what they're fighting. Like, freedom fighters and stuff.
It's like the Maquis in Star Trek. The people that are fighting for their life, for their getting back what they've lost. Most of these people have lost something. That's why they're in the rebellion. They're not people that are okay on Coruscant, are they?
Exactly. And that doesn't mean that they have to be these like wonderful, lovely people. I don't need to see that. I want them to be real people. That means not everyone's like, some people are just dicks. And it's cool. You can have someone who's a dick.
I mean, obviously, Saul and his group are extremists, but ultimately, you've got to be prepared to get your hands dirty, haven't you? I mean, it's like real. I've spent a lot of time in Belfast recently, and Northern Ireland and all the struggles there. These are real people that are just, that sort of bit of life and what's going on in the rest of the world.
So
you don't rebel and revolutionize without blood being spilled. Ultimately,
exactly, that's it.
Unfortunately,
and as I said before, if you've got to tell a story that has to end the way this should be coming to an end, then a kid's story, like a little kid's story, ain't the way to go with it. You could have done something else and then had something a bit more gritty for a slightly older audience.
Which again, it would have been fine if the Rebels gang went up to this point in time, but just didn't get involved in the main story.
Yeah,
and we got a novel, or we got a book, a comic or something that told you the real grit. But this, it just it's a head scratcher for me, because I can't honestly see them ending the cartoon on a massive downer, but I just can't see any other way, unless, like, let's say they do what I said and send them to look after the shits or something like that.
Also, I feel like this gang are a little bit too close to the rest of it. Like the story is going up too close to Rogue One. So having like Jedi and a Mandalorian with like multicolored clothes, flying
all these things that no one
that's...
mentioned ever before, and was shocked. And was shocked about. Han not believing in things like the Force and stuff like that. It's like, well,
it's like, it's right there, dude.
Yeah.
It's
see that float
all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. And see that big Bendu, and the Force wolf and stuff like that. I don't know.
So all that stuff. So to me, it's just a bit stupid. But episodes, though, taking my low scores for last week, I would say these were slightly better than last week's. I preferred them to the stupid Mandalorian ones. So
Yeah, I think only because it wasn't about Mandalorians, but I also don't like Saul Guerrero. I think he's a knob.
I don't mind Saul Guerrero.
I honestly don't need to know any more about Saul Guerrero. Really don't give two flying monkeys.
I don't mind Saul Guerrero. I quite like that there's this other sect of rebels, and what we got to see in Rogue One. And so if they're going to show him
any more than what we've had,
if they're going to show him at this point, I want to see how he gets to be the guy in Rogue One.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because he had the breathing apparatus and all the different bits of him that are robotic. I want to see that. So if you're going to show me Saul Guerrero, show the darkness of the way he approaches it, and B, let's see something happen. Stuff has to happen to these guys. Nothing is happening to these guys. So there's nothing they've done that's that terrible. So for me,
so do you think we're going to see him again then before the series ends?
I definitely 100%. Think we'll see him. Yeah. So for me, episode 3, I'll give a 4 out of 10, and episode 4, I'll give a 4.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it 6 out of 10. I mean, there wasn't anything in it where it was bad. It just wasn't. It was just, again, it's just the issues are my view on it. It's not the cartoon's bad. It's just. It's not what I want,
it's your personal opinion, dude. Yeah. Same with mine. Like, other people watch this and love it. That's fine.
Yeah.
I hope they enjoy it. For me, I'm just not feeling like I'm getting what I'm expecting or wanting out of this. And when I say it's a 4, I'm not saying it's terrible, but I just didn't.
It's not great.
I wasn't like loving it or anything. I just watched
the story was so predictable.
It really was.
Really was.
Oh yeah, it really was.
These 2-parters are, to be honest, not a good way to do it. I don't think, because they're too boring.
Yeah.
I mean, there's bits in it. I mean, like I say, I've completely tuned out of a big chunk of it in the middle. I honestly don't know what happened in the middle. I know what happened at the beginning. I know what happened at the end. But the middle bit, I couldn't tell you if my life depended on it.
I do that. I told you last week that I just zone out while I'm watching it. So I sit there, and my first thing is, oh God, because I actually said it yesterday. I was like, okay, we're doing our podcast tomorrow. Oh God, I better watch Rebels.
Yeah.
and I sat down. And I was like, ugh. And I just got through it just so I could go and watch The Flash. So yeah, it was done after that. I was like, cool, put The Flash on.
I haven't watched The Flash yet. I need to watch that. My Mon Mothma theory, I've just realised it wasn't a theory.
Oh.
It was more an observation, so sorry about Fist of Theory fans. I've got you excited for no reason.
All those fans.
But what it was again.
Was it?
Yeah. One point, in a certain point of view, one of the stories is about Mothma. Oh God.
Mon Mothma.
Mon Mothma. No. Mon Mothma.
Mon Mothma.
Mon Mothma. It was about her. And what the contingency plan was if the Battle of Yavin didn't go well.
Okay.
And if the rebel base got blown up. And so she was the only one sent off in case it didn't. So she went into hiding so she could continue the rebellion.
Right.
Now, before I got to this story, and obviously I've been listening to all these different stories from a different point of view, it made me, I straight away thought, wait a minute, why do they need to all still be on the Yavin base when they know the Death Star's about to blow them up? Now I know should have a bit of hope that you're going to win, but to be honest, the odds were against it,
dude.
Yeah,
it wasn't just there; it turned up.
Yeah, but they knew. But as soon as that, because they were having the little thing saying the Death Star is now in range, or whatever, weren't they?
Yeah.
So surely you'd think, right, let's not sit here and listen to Red 5 chirping on about turning off his targeting computer. Let's get the hell out of this place, because in 5 minutes they're going to blow the hell up. You know what I mean? Why didn't they evacuate?
You would think.
Why didn't they evacuate? Why was Leia just stood there? And then, why afterwards, when all the Imperials know that they're there, they hang around and have a little ceremony, have a little party? You know what I mean? All the Imperials know they're there.
Well,
and
that's
they've just
true.
blown up that big battle station, so they're a bit pissed off.
Well, they're
Gee,
quite far
you're
away.
going to be peeved.
They're quite far away. They've got time.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They wanted to hand out their
The
medals
full
to
medal. They had time to clean R2D2 and C3PO up and give them a shiny polish, and get old bloody matey boy with his medals. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Oh, Nick,
Exactly.
get Nick out. You know. It just made me think, bloody hell, what are they playing at? They were so lucky they weren't just all wiped out. And if Mon Mothma really was the only person they decided to send off, again, why? Because what is she going to do on her own with the whole of the rebellion?
She's a badass super duper fighter.
Yeah, obviously. So I must admit, it did put listen to that book and think watching Rebels recently. It just made me think, what the hell were the Rebels playing at?
So, did you like that book?
I did. I guess we're getting into my bit review now, aren't we?
Yes.
Have I got a segment for this?
Sure.
Book review!
No, isn't it like some kind of book corner review or something?
Oh.
Hold on a minute. You have got a segment for it.
What about Legends of the Library?
No.
I don't know.
Well, call it whatever you want to
The
call it.
book club.
It can be Legends of the Library. Why not?
What? Could it be Luke Skywalker reads Obi-Wan's journal telling a story about Yoda section?
Yeah.
So I've read A Certain Point of View.
Okay.
And it was good. It was long.
Oh, really?
There's a lot of stories. I mean, there's 40 stories in it.
Okay.
Obviously, because there's 40 years of Star Wars.
Are most of them good?
So I tell you what, I was loving it until we got to the cantina, and then after about 4 stories set in the cantina, I got a bit. I needed a little rest, even though I didn't rest. I carried on listening.
I like the cantina stuff.
Yeah, I like the cantina, but it wasn't saying too much different. You know what I mean? There was a few stories about Guido and Dr. Pampa Bomba Bomba and Ugface, or whatever his name is. But there were some really, really good stories in there.
Okay.
There were some a little bit boring. The worst one I found was, you know, the creature in the trash compactor.
Oh yes.
You probably know its name. I don't know its name.
I do know its name, but I can't remember it.
Something.
Yeah.
There's a story all about that animal and its viewpoint and its world.
You know, I heard about this before the book came out.
Ages. I wanted to kill myself. I was driving, listening to it, and I was just like, "Oh my god! Somebody ring me. Somebody from work, ring me, please. I just don't want to listen to this rubbish anymore."
Dianoga.
It was boring and it was weird. It's like she had like full sentience and was talking all about her dreams, and that's what I was just like, bloody hell, I don't need this. I don't need to know about this hermaphrodite thing that can choose what sex it is. I didn't need to know that. And that it identifies as a woman. I didn't need to know that. Yeah. It done my head in, to be honest. But there were some really good ones. I really liked the story about R5D4.
Right.
I don't know if I talked about it.
You mentioned that last week.
Yeah. That was a good one. I liked the Boba Fett story. I know you didn't like the way John Hamm read it, but I did his voice, but I thought it was quite cool.
Okay.
The Mon Mothma one was interesting. Again, this sort of viewpoint of what, and because she was basically saying it as though she was imagining the scenario if the rebels had lost.
Okay.
And she was talking about how she'd be taken prisoner and all this kind of stuff. So that was quite interesting. There was an interesting story by Will Wheaton, which was really sad and depressing, actually. Should I spoil it?
Yeah, what's the story?
It's short. It's only 1:40. It was all about this rebel who had a little baby, and he told the sad story about how his wife had been killed by the Imperials.
Right.
And now he's part of a rebellion on Yavin. And so he was basically recording a video to his daughter because he was having to ship her off.
Okay.
You know, so that she didn't get hurt in the battle and all this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, telling the story of what happened to the mother and all this kind of thing. And it turns out he sent her to Alderaan. Brilliant.
Brilliant. That's an amazing story.
It's just like, oh, Will Wheaton, you are messed up, man.
That's a great story.
It was like, oh.
Does he then die as well?
Huh?
Does he then die as well?
Well, because this is a story where he's an engineer in the Yavin looking after the ships, so you don't know.
He just loses everyone.
Because it's obviously because it's set before the actual gets blown up, so you don't even, you know, you just go, oh, I hope you have a lovely life, kind of thing. When you know, she doesn't.
Fantastic.
Baby gets blown up. Nice.
That kind of makes me happy.
Yeah, it was sad. I was like, oh god. I'm thinking, why would you write this story? You know what I mean?
Because it's hilarious.
But it wasn't. It wasn't like told ironically. You know what I mean? It was told like. So, and there was another story with again. This was based around the cantina, and I'll tell you what really annoyed me was, I think it was about the bat-like character that, you know, the one with the bat face.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the voice for it, because I listened to it on an audiobook. Oh my god, it's so annoying. I couldn't listen to it because the way they were doing the voice was so hurting my ears.
I've still got.
I couldn't be asked to listen to it. What she was saying. You know what I mean? I was just like, this is painful.
It doesn't sound like they did the most interesting characters at the cantina.
No, this is the thing. But what I did like was, I mean, they definitely lived up to the title certain point of view, because you got two different stories about Greedo.
Ah, cool.
And one of them he definitely shot first.
Ah.
But obviously that is different than what we see in the film, so again it's a certain point of view. So interesting. I mean,
cool. So
generally the experiment was good, and like in it, as you would expect,
that's their way, isn't it? That's their way of getting around it.
Yeah.
Like saying that
it's a certain point of view.
Yeah.
And because I think I read something from Pablo about it when the book came out. I don't know if you read this as a story or if I just read it somewhere, but he was saying the whole point of this is, like, if you go with the special editions or you go with the non-special editions, it's a different point of view.
Yeah. I
so
did
it's
read
just
that.
the way the story's been told.
Right.
And so they're both equally canon.
Cool. That's good, because I never watched special edition.
But then this does give me a little bit. I think they are trying to create a little bit of wiggle room now. Oh, one of the best stories. Well, I don't know if it's the best story, but this is interesting. You know TK421, or whatever his name is?
Yes. I've heard a bit about this.
So he basically has an affair with an Imperial senior bloke.
Yeah, he's gay. Yeah, I heard about this.
And he's using his mouse droid to connect with him, and he's having this little affair. And I was really hoping that when they were saying TK421, why aren't you at your post, it would be because he was in Matey Boy's bed. But unfortunately, it wasn't that. He was dead. So, because Han and Chewie killed him.
Yeah.
Or did that, from a certain point of view.
Yeah, of course.
But, yeah, that was quite an interesting story. I found it quite amusing again. You know, and that's where I think this sort of anthology really works. And I love the idea they did the experiment. I'd love them to do one for Empire Strikes Back when that comes out, and one for Jedi. I think that'd be brilliant.
That would be.
I mean, I will say 40 stories was too many, but then that was the point of it, I guess.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, there was a couple of really good ones. There was one of the last ones was really good. It was like someone writing the Journal of the Wills.
Ah, okay.
And they were writing the opening crawl to Star Wars. And it was this other bloke arguing about it. It's quite funny. Sort of saying, well, you're including this bit, but you haven't included anything about Anakin or Darth Vader. And why aren't you mentioning that he's Anakin? You know. And
excellent.
It was quite cool. Yeah.
How was the Sand Trooper story? Was that good?
Sand Trooper.
You mentioned there's one about Sand Troopers.
There was a couple. To be honest, I think there was two around the Sand Trooper. Again, this is where it gets a bit confusing, because in one story you hear about a stormtrooper who was the one that was involved in Move Along, but then you hear another story about the stormtrooper that was involved in Move Along. Yeah, that was wicked. Again, the only problem is I couldn't tell on my version of the audiobook which book was written by who, which story, and who was reading those stories. Obviously, I could tell like the people I recognise the voice of, like Mark Thompson, people like that.
Mm-hmm.
So there was no like, oh, here's exactly who's done
By
what.
so and so, yeah.
Yeah, which is really annoying. It would have been good if there would have been a listing of the who wrote what and who. Obviously, I think if I had the book, I probably know, but I would. But whoever read that story about the Sandtroop was really good, and definitely had a different voice than you normally get to a stormtrooper. And I think I was saying to you, they sort of have quite a spirit. You know, it's like a report he's submitting, and he's sort of uploaded it, and he's quite jazzy with the way he's talking. He's like gonna laugh about it and making sort of snidey comments about different people, and he wanted to be a Jew back rider, and he couldn't be, and all kind of thing.
Okay, cool.
But it turns out the reason he's done that is because he's actually left. He's realised after going through what he went through, he realised this wasn't for him, and he was going to run off into the sunset and get away from it all. And so it was quite good. Do. Yeah, there's also 2 stories about the scene on the Death Star when Vader chokes Matey Boy and technological terror. There's one which is being told during that moment, which is quite good, and then there's another one which is that guy who got choked, and it's his appeal. He's writing an appeal and going to basically put a claim in against Vader.
Excellent.
And so again, there's some clever takes on it. So I mean, as an overall, and again, like I say, any anthology, it doesn't matter if it's a comic or book, or there's always some rubbishy ones. Yeah. So I would say, as a whole, I'll give it 8 out of 10.
Cool.
And it was good. It was definitely it's worth getting. I mean,
that's a good score.
To be honest, I think that is more of a book to buy than an audiobook, because I think you can just go to look at the little story you want to look at.
The one you want to, yeah.
Yeah. I would recommend getting that as a book rather than getting the audiobook. Okay. Even though the audiobook was good, and it was good to hear the different voices and interpretations, I did just found it a bit mind-boggling to listen to it.
Right. Cool. And with me listening to them in 5-minute sections, it'll take me about 6 years.
Well, to be fair, I mean, at least, some of the stories are short. Right. Well, so you'll get through a few in the 5 minutes, but some of them go on. There are a couple that go on way too long. Cool.
Oh, good review, Colin. I liked hearing about that. I think now we've been coming on to an hour.
Yeah, I've got.
Maybe we should wrap this up, eh? So let's get the first bit done. You can find us in a whole bunch of different places. Facebook, which is where the whole thing started, at the Star Wars Conversations group. Just come and join us there, join in the conversation, get chatting and all that kind of stuff. You can find us on Twitter at Star Wars Convo, or use the hashtag Star Wars Convo. You can get Colin on Twitter at
Captain Colin.
And you can find me at EagleEye1933. We're also on all the places where you can find podcasts, like Stitcher, SoundCloud, iTunes, a whole bunch of anywhere else you can think of.
Just search for it in your podcast catcher, and I'm sure you'll find us.
Yep. And where else can they find us? Some kind of network.
The Taylor Network, I believe, is the one you're thinking of, Jay.
The Taylor Network of podcasts. That's the one.
It's a beautiful place to be. A wealth of podcasts for all your geek needs. Whether you're interested in comics, TV shows, films, pop culture, just general talking, D&D, that kind of stuff, Spirit of 77, Magnum Cast, Go Trek Yourself, Gotham by Geek, Double Page Spread, Nothing's On. They're all there. So whatever you want to listen to, just subscribe to that feed and then listen to the ones you like, the ones you don't, maybe skip them. But all of them are good.
There you go.
Especially ours. Ours are the best.
This one's the best one. Yep. So, that's it then. Until next week.
Punch it, Chewie!
Ichuta.
Thank you.